Okay, so when a family member goes missing, what do you expect to see? You expect a tearful, desperate plea for their safe return, right? Well, in the case of 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, the public message from her kids, and yes, that includes TV news personality Savannah Guthrie, was something else entirely. We're going to break down this statement because it sounds a whole lot less like a plea for help and way more like a coded message in a super high-stakes negotiation. So this was their opening line. Think about that for a second. Not, "We miss our mom," or "Please just bring her home." Nope. It's this direct, almost business-like confirmation. Right off the bat, this tells you we're not watching a typical public appeal. This is a direct line of communication, and it's signaling to the abductors that the family is ready to play by their rules. The mystery starts right here with this one sentence. All right, so let's just picture the scene. Nancy Guthrie is gone. Her children, Savannah, Annie, and Cameron, they release a video. The whole world is watching, expecting to see raw, unfiltered emotion. But instead, they deliver a statement that is so precise, so odd, that it immediately makes you wonder who actually wrote these words. Let's really dig into these phrases. First, "We received your message and we understand." That's just confirmation. Contact has been made. Then you get this. "This is the only way we will have peace." And notice that weird spelling, P-I-E-C-E. And then, honestly, the most chilling part. "This is very valuable to us, and we will pay." They aren't talking about a person, a loved one. They're talking about an asset. The language here is purely transactional. So, this very deliberate choice of words had investigators and analysts scrambling to figure out the hidden meaning. I mean, why would a family in the middle of a crisis talk like this? Well, according to the experts, the answer is that every single word was likely chosen for a very, very specific purpose. So, what's the deal here? It sounds like a negotiation, because it probably is one. You know, former DC police detective Ted Williams has suggested that the FBI was almost certainly involved in crafting this message. It's not meant for you and me. It's a direct signal to the kidnappers. It's a way of saying, "Hey, we hear you loud and clear, and we're following your rules." And I mean, this slide just lays it out perfectly, doesn't it? It shows the total disconnect. On the left, you've got the emotional language we'd all expect, and on the right, the cold, calculated words the family actually used. The difference is just jarring. It completely shifts the focus from a plea for compassion to an agreement for a transaction.
And this is where things get really, really grim. This quote from Ted Williams, it just captures the fear that so many analysts share. Using a phrase like, "This is very valuable to us," instead of, "We love her," could be a signal. A truly tragic signal that maybe, just maybe, the family no longer believes their mother is alive. They could be negotiating for the return of her body, just to find what they called peace.
So this strategy has a name. It's called rapport building. And no, it's not about becoming friends. It's about showing the abductors that you are compliant, that you're predictable. By using their language, the family is trying to keep those lines of communication open. It's their only lifeline to getting any kind of resolution. But while the family was executing this careful strategy, the official investigation was hitting some major roadblocks.
Yeah, the official response to this whole case faced its own huge set of challenges. While the family was sending out these carefully crafted messages, the initial investigation was really struggling to keep up. The local sheriff's department found itself completely buried in a national media storm.
According to analysts, the local department was just plain out of its depth. Right away, there were serious concerns about whether the crime scene had been properly preserved, which is, step one. A case this big, with this much national attention, was something they'd likely never handled before. Even the sheriff appeared emotional and overwhelmed by the pressure, which is a human reaction for sure, but not what you need in a complex, high-stakes investigation like this. And this is where the story takes a huge turn. Recognizing the sheer scale and complexity of the situation, the investigation saw a major shift in leadership. The federal government got involved. The message was loud and clear. The Pima County Sheriff's Department was no longer running this show. The FBI effectively took over the entire investigation. And let me tell you, this was a significant and, according to just about every expert, a totally necessary development. And here's exactly why that matters so much. The FBI brings assets to the table that the local department just can't match. We're talking massive resources, decades of institutional experience. They have a playbook for this kind of thing. They know how to secure a crime scene, how to analyze evidence, and, crucially, as we've already seen, they are the experts in the delicate art of communicating with kidnappers. Which brings us to today. The family has sent its message. The FBI is in control, and now The entire investigation is just in this state of tense anticipation, waiting, just waiting for a response. After the family's very public, very coded reply, the ball is now squarely in the abductor's court. They've received the signal that the family is ready and willing to pay. So the next communication from them, well, that's going to determine everything.
And so we're left with this haunting question, in a terrifying situation where every single public statement is a calculated move, and every single word carries this immense weight. All we can do is wait and wonder what the next message will be, and if it will be the one that finally brings Nancy Guthrie home.